That's one of the reasons why this event has become so big, is they get a lot of big names. And certainly over the last couple of days, we've heard from a lot of them. Elon Musk of SpaceX and Tesla fame, who said he'd be happy to die on Mars. It was interesting over the weekend to hear from the billionaire investor Yuri Milner talking about the idea of Facebook and Google maybe being around for 100 years, even though this is an event where we talk a lot more about the startups and not the established names in tech. And even to hear former Vice President Al Gore, who of course is on the board of directors of Apple, talking about a new service like Snapchat. Seems like everybody wants to talk about what's happening in the tech scene. We also spoke to David Sachs, who founded a company called Yammer, which was purchased by Microsoft for more than $1 billion recently. What brings him to South by Southwest? Here's what he told us.
We want to keep our finger on the pulse of what's happening, and we like to see what other startups are doing. You know, we're here to learn. We're also here to share what Yammer's doing. We still have a long way to go in terms of persuading companies to buy Yammer. Yeah, we're a lot bigger than a lot of the startups here, but we want to get a social network inside every company.
And John, that's interesting. Yammer is an established player, but what about some of the startups? Is South by Southwest still as valuable?
You know, it's interesting. We caught up with one young entrepreneur of a company called Zarly. It's an online marketplace. His name is Bo Fishback. He started up this business here a couple of years ago, and it was shortly after that he got a lot of venture capital money. He's got a well-known name, Meg Whitman, the CEO of HP, on his board. We asked him about the relevancy of South by Southwest as it gets that much bigger. Here's what he had to say.
I think it's getting harder and harder probably for startups to like make a big splash or whatever, just because there's so many people who can spend real money and really go after it and do it right. That I don't think it will change actually like the networking or the learning environment that happens here. But I think if anything, it's raising the bar on what it would take to go and launch something new here if you don't have a multi-million-dollar budget.
So definitely good discussions taking place. And on Bloomberg West later today, Mark, we'll hear from a few interesting names, from Big Gordon, the board member at Zynga and Amazon, to Scott McNealy, the former CEO of Sun Microsystems. Mark?